Hello everybody, this is Kyrix with another episode of This Week in Kyrix. Today is Wednesday, November 14th of 2018, and I've got quite a bit to discuss this week. For starters, sorry, I had to move to a more comfy spot. Let's talk about Five Below. Now, I think I've mentioned before, I have no idea how common Five Below is as a place outside of Florida. So, if you've never heard of Five Below, I'm sorry, it's actually pretty fucking cool. Basically, the gist of Five Below is it's a dollar store on steroids, really. Five Below is a place where everything is $5 or below. Basically, you're going to pay $1 to $5 plus tax for everything in the fucking store. So, slightly more high-end than a dollar store, but you're not necessarily getting super high-end shit either, you know. And at the start of the month, I got a portable charger, which I make extensive use of all the time. My phone is actually plugged into it right now so that I can have the stopwatch without draining my battery. And it'll get my phone from like 40% to 80% in about an hour while I'm using it, so that's pretty good. I mean, you might be thinking, well, Kyrix would be better if you could plug it in, but when you can't plug it in, it's pretty goddamn good still. But anyway, I had a Bluetooth headset, originally for the laptop, and then it turns out my laptop didn't support Bluetooth, so it became for my phone. The idea being I load audiobooks onto my phone and listen to them for a while out here while doing video games. You know, no big deal. It's something I do on the computer anyway, but without having to drag the fucking computer out here. You know? Well, I want to say it was Monday. Yes, it was Monday. I went to plug in my Bluetooth. I was going to charge it up, you know, that kind of thing. So I plug it in, and the little USB port comes loose inside the thing, and on top of that, because that, you can live with that, but it also wouldn't charge. So I'm thinking, well shit, I spent $5 on this, and most of you are thinking, Kyrix, it's $5, just go drop another $5. $5 for me is a lot of money. I don't think you realize just how poor I am, person who I'm strawmanning into my comment section. So yeah, I look up Five Below's return policy because it's never come up. I've only ever bought a couple things from Five Below, and this is the first one of them that broke. The gist of it is I had either 12 or 14 days after the purchase to return something. And I had purchased it on the 2nd, so I still had a couple days. And it was still reasonably early in the day. It was like 2 to 4 p.m., so the buses were still running. I'm like, and it said, oh, you can return it at any Five Below. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to Tyrone Mall, because there's a Five Below up there. And, let's see, that's still not nearly enough. I need more wood. So anyway, I go up to the Five Below, and I've got these headphones in my fucking pocket, because I don't have the box anymore, and I don't have the receipt anymore, because everything was fine. I didn't think I would need them, you know? So anyway, I get up there, and I'm hoping I won't have any trouble. I walk in there, I see the clerk, I tell him what's wrong, he says, you want to just exchange it? So I walk over to the back shelf, get the same model, but a different color. Mine were blue, these are red. And anyway, I go up there, I hand them to him, he scans them, sends me on my way. I go back to the bus stop to wait for my bus, which should be there in about 40 minutes, you know. And anyway, I'm sitting there for maybe 20 minutes or so, just listening to my audiobook. I had actually moved away from the bus stops to get better volume, because there was a bus parked nearby and these headphones aren't that loud. So I figure, fuck it, I'll volume these things up. Aha! You're fucked, piggy. Shit. Now he's getting away. See if I can maneuver him into the water. Seems to have trouble evading me when he's wet. So anyway... Oh, there he is. Fucking tall grass. You're not a Pokemon. Run to the water. Gotcha. Anyway, about 10-15 minutes before the bus should get there, I happen to notice that my bus pass is not in anymore. I don't have access to it. It's not in my pocket. Neither is my ID at this point, because they're in the same plastic case together. So I am having a fit, because I'm stranded up in Tyrone Mall with no way to get home, unless I find the fucking thing. On top of that, I can't go check in at the vocational rehab place, which I actually should try to do today. Nor can I go into one of my freebie movies without my ID. And that's like a $30, $40 fee to replace it, which is money I don't have. So I'm berating myself the whole walk back to the Five Below, because that's step one. Step two would be to check the place where I got off the bus and hope that it was there, that no one had walked off with it. Well, it turns out I had dropped it outside the Five Below and someone had found it. Ironically, I had been at the bus stop with the two women who found it, and they just turned it into the guy. He recognized me, handed it back to me. All was cool. So yeah, the gist of it is Five Below has a really good return policy. I didn't have to fight with them. I didn't have to plead. Anything. Is just, hey, you bought that from us. Go get it replaced, you know? It shouldn't have done that. Cool. I like when people work with you on shit like that. Good people. Anyway, so, I may have talked about this last week, but it bears repeating. Rotten Tomatoes is a shitty website. Absolutely shitty. I'm pretty sure I did talk about this, actually, but again, it bears repeating. I have, in my life, walked out of exactly one movie. Just one. I'm not one of those guys who's like, oh, I walked out of this thing 5 minutes in. Ha ha ha, aren't I awesome? No. Walking out of a movie is kind of a shameful thing in my eyes. It's not something to be proud of. It's not something to brag about. I am not proud of the fact that I walked out of a movie. I would rather have not picked a shitty movie. Now, I didn't get my money back because it was a freebie. And it may have been possible to basically say, hey, this is a shitty movie, give me back my freebie. But honestly, it's not worth it, you know? Although if I'd known now, or if I'd known then what I know now, I would have tried so that I could see Hunter Killer. Because I wanted to see Hunter Killer, and by the time I had a freebie open, it was out of theaters, so I'm kind of pissed about that. But I'll live. There's plenty of other movies. Matter of fact, next week... Sorry, let me adjust this thing. Next week, I should be seeing 3 good movies. The new Robin Hood, Creed 2, and Wreck-It Ralph 2. So that should be a lot of fun. That's 3 goddamn new movies, all in one go. Probably all in one day. I'm probably just going to go up there Wednesday and binge. But yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, and I know this, I only know this because my AMC app often lists the Rotten Tomato score of a movie. And in one case, when I looked up a movie, the Rotten Tomato score came up. I looked up the Nutcracker. It's like, oh, it's got a Rotten Tomato score of 23%. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a good one. And I was right. I watched The Nutcracker, and I was thoroughly engrossed in this movie. It was a lot of fun. It was one of the best movies I've seen this year. And I've seen quite a few movies in the past couple months. Bordering on 3 movies a week, sometimes repeats, you know. But if I didn't have a full docket of movies to watch, I would definitely go see The Nutcracker again, you know. If it's still in theaters and I happen to have a freebie still, I will probably almost certainly see that movie a second time. It was a lot of fun. And it scored like a 23 or 26, something in the 20s range, below 30. And the movie was fantastic. I also had booked a ticket to see a movie called Monster Party. It was the only showing for that day. I figured, oh, this could be a gem. I don't want to miss it while it's still in theaters. And I looked at the summary of it. Basically, it's like, oh, these people go to this house for like a dinner party, and it turns out they're all like cannibals or serial killers or some shit like that. I think they were serial killers. And I'm thinking, oh, that sounds interesting. I've been watching a couple slasher movies lately. This should be fun. And Rotten Tomatoes scored at like 80-something, and that should have been my first fucking warning right there. But no, I had hope. And those hopes were thoroughly fucking dashed. I did not make it... Fuck, I don't think I made it past a quarter of the movie's length, if I even made it that far. This was a horrible, garbage-ass movie. It was objectively one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It just flat out was. I'm sorry, but it fucking was. And, there we go. But anyway, the movie was thoroughly up its own ass. Everything about this movie sucked. Like, the characters, they didn't tell you shit about them. I had to guess literally everything about the characters, you know. And I know some people like show, don't tell, but when you walk into a movie you've never fucking heard of, you need to know something about the characters. You know. And show, don't tell generally means, oh, don't spend 30 minutes expositing about one character, but give me 5 minutes to get to know the characters, you know? But basically, they're petty thieves. They break into places, they burglarize shit. You know, they split the take. The kid whose job it was to crack alarm systems and do all the electronic shit, at no point did he ever fucking look up. And that royally pisses me off. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a guy who looks down at the ground constantly when I walk. You know, and I don't make eye contact well at all. I have to force myself to make eye contact. So I can get the idea of, oh, I don't like looking up at things. But people will talk to him and he won't look at them. I won't make eye contact with you, but I'll at least glance at you a couple times while we're having a conversation. If only to gauge your reactions, you know? You know, just because you don't do eye contact doesn't mean you don't fucking look at people. I cannot, in the 20 to 30 minutes of this movie that I fucking watched, I can't recall a single time where he looked directly at another person. You know? And like I said, that kind of bothers me as a person. So, the other thing is, this movie was struggling very hard to be artsy, you could tell, because they would do... There was this scene where they had to go get changed because they were posing as, like, waiters and shit for this party. And he had to go into the brother's room and change. And there's a scene that goes on for like 2 or 3 minutes. He's already changed clothes. He's just in this empty room by himself. And he's looking around. You know? And He's just like, oh, I'm going to look in this drawer. Oh, there's a gun in here. I'm going to pick this up and look at it, and then I'm going to put it right the fuck back, and that's it, and just... No, he's not fucking doing anything, dude. You know, there was... That scene could have been left out entirely, and the movie wouldn't have suffered at all for it. Matter of fact, the movie would have been better for not having that scene in it. And the music was fucking weird. You know, it's just strange music choices. It's like the guy had some shit on his iPod and decided, this is our soundtrack. You know? It's just... Everything about this movie should have been vetoed by somebody. Someone should have said, hey, this would be shitty, let's not put it in our movie. But it all made it into the movie. And this thing scored a fucking 80. I couldn't make it through any of this shit. I've sat through some horrible fucking movies, and I could not make it through this fucking thing. You know? But, yeah, that's proof that Rotten Tomatoes doesn't fucking know what it's talking about. I've known this for years. And it really bothers me that people use it as some kind of authority for movies. Like, oh, Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't know shit about movies, dude. It's fucking people who think they know what the fuck they're talking about trying to tell you what movies are good. And that's the problem with a lot of people who try to be critics, is they think, oh, critics like artsy shit, so I should pretend that since this is artsy, that makes it a good fucking movie. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry, I grew up for years being told that 2001: A Space Odyssey was such a great movie, it was groundbreaking and all this shit. And what they neglect to tell you is the reason is because people were high in the fucking theater. And when you're fucking stoned, apparently, a 5-minute sequence of galaxies with symphony music playing blows your fucking mind. However, when you're sober and you watch that shit, it takes you entirely out of the fucking movie. You know, I would just be getting into the story, and then the story would take a backseat to fucking Galactic Symphony. And that's stupid. Fixing shit in the dark, I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. But, yeah, that's the thing. Monster Party, shitty movie. Nutcracker, good movie. So, Pokemon. I kinda fucked myself at Pokemon. I decided, this week was supposed to be a, middle forms battle, like things like Curlia, Steenie, Charmeleon, that kind of shit, you know? The middle evolutions of Pokemon only. But I don't think anyone really heard me last week when I mentioned it, or the week before, rather. And I figured we'll put that off for another time, because I've been training other shit. So while I have enough mid-forms to do that tournament, I don't have enough mid-forms that I like to do that tournament. You know, I'd be doing shit that I don't necessarily want to use, and what's the point of that, right? So, anywho, I decide, because it'd be cool, that instead what we're going to do is we're going to do a gym leader tournament. I actually came up with this like a week or so ago. We were off for the election. And the idea of the gym leader is I would have a drawing method. I chose to take 18 of my dice, write down what each of them was, have everyone pull randomly from a bag that they couldn't see. And that's what our gym would be. And I was really hoping that I would get bug type as my gym. And I don't think anyone got the gym they wanted. Like, one of the girls got fighting. And her brother got flying, so she's kind of boned there. One of the kids got psychic. Another girl got dark. The girl's other brother got dragon. That's going to be a pain in the ass. You know, he's not going to be super effective against the goddamn thing. Except himself. But I got steel. And the problem with steel types is it's a very weird typing. It's primarily defensive. So I'm not going to be rocking a lot of good offense on that. You know? Steel's not very super effective against a lot of things. And that's going to bite me in the ass. And to top it off, I don't have a lot of steel types. I don't. So I'm pretty much having to breed my entire fucking team from scratch. And that's gonna suck a dick. Plus, I don't use steel types as a rule, so I don't know what's good. So I'm doing a lot of research on top of that. But I've gotten started on it. It should be fun. Eventually, it should be fun. We took another week off from recording with Eisen, although this time I actually knew about it ahead of time. He had some shit going on at work, so it's like, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to do this as consistently, and we certainly won't be able to do the sequel game, or the integral game that we were going to do, very soon. You know, it's like it'll be a while before we're game to do that, and that's fine. I've still got the saves. But, But anyway, we, okay, that's good. Okay, that's bad. But yeah, we'll eventually get on that when he gets the time. You know, no rush. We're not... It could be a year or so before he gets around to processing this shit to upload it anyway. So I'm not in a huge rush for that shit, you know. When we do it, we do it. Nope, nope, not like that. So, nope, not like that either. We're gonna take this. Empty. This is not empty. Don't know why that's in there, but fuck it. Alright. On some exciting news, however, there is actually some exciting news to share. Black Friday is coming up rather quickly, actually. And I have plans for that. Yes, I do. The plan had been to get a Nintendo Switch, with the mindset that in the very near future, all the new Pokemon games will be on the Switch. You know, makes sense. However, while there is a new Pokemon game on the Switch right now, it is not a Pokemon game that I am particularly enthused about. Like, it's not a make-or-break title for me, so I'm not super high-end. Basically, it's Pokemon Let's Go, which I don't know. I know it has something to do with Kanto. Beyond that, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's like a Pokemon Go thing where I need to wander around. I don't know if it's a Pokemon-style game where you actually wander around in the game and do Pokemon shit. But it's Kanto, and there's really no new Pokemon. You know, I mean, it's not... I'm not going to get new shit. It probably doesn't have Pokemon from other regions, so I'm not going to need to be transferring all my shit. Basically, to simplify things, I don't have to have it to continue battling with the people I battle with, you know. So because of that, I'm not prioritizing getting a Switch until we're getting a Gen 8 game. Like, oh, this is Pokemon Triangle, you know, 'cause fuck it, why not Shapes next? So, oh, I've got to get Pokemon Triangle and Rhombus. So, yeah, when that comes out, something that I actually need to transfer all my Pokemon for, I need to make sure I have it to be able to battle all the kids at League, you know. When that happens, then I will prioritize getting a Switch. It's just not. So I'm thinking, okay, Kyrix, what else do you need? Well, I could use a new bike. But the one I have is doing fine right now. Like, everything on it works. So if something breaks down, I can just probably replace that something and be fine. You know? Especially since 9 times out of 10, the thing that breaks is my tubes. And I just got the means to be able to just fix tubes whenever. Like, I have, what's the word? I have extenders, so I can just get a 44 millimeter valve tube, which is only like $6 or so. It's pretty cheap. I mean, it's not as cheap as normal tubes, but it's not like a $15, $30 custom order on eBay kind of shit, you know? It's not a make or break Kyrix thing. Which, believe me, I appreciate. Because a lot of shit is focused on breaking me, not a whole lot on making me, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I could do a bike, but I'm like, no, a bike's not a super huge priority right now. It'd be nice to have a spare, don't get me wrong. But it's not a thing I'm super focused on this moment. You know what I could use? A new laptop. And I'm getting one. It's official now. I talked to the roommate. He's going to loan me the money. I talked to a friend in California who is going to be looking at specs and stats on the computers available in my price range, which it's not a big price range. It's not going to be high-end fucking gaming shit. But that's also not what I need. It is pretty much by default going to be better than what I've got, because what I've got is a fucking 6 to 8 year old computer. You know, by definition, this thing is going to be better than what I already have. It just is. Just sheerly based on the fact that the technology on what I have is so fucking out of date. So I will be getting a new, more powerful computer that, assuming one is available, will be able to run all my Steam games. I might be able to stream, which I will do in limited capacity. I'm not looking to be one of those guys who's on Twitch all the fucking time, you know. I don't want to switch my channel over so that, hey, catch me on Twitch. Yeah, I used to upload to YouTube, but I want to do Twitch now. No. There's some stuff I would love to do for Twitch, or maybe YouTube streaming service. I don't fucking know. Who knows? But, it's not something I've ever wanted to prioritize. You know, like, for example, This Week in Kyrix might eventually become a stream instead. You know, if I ever build up an audience who gives a shit. Because this is just something I can do and relax. I would love to stream games of 7 days with friends, but I don't have any friends who can play with me, you know. But for the most part, I just want the capacity in case I ever want to stream. The odds of me wanting to stream are pretty slim, but as I like to say, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, you know. But yeah, this way I would be able to record my PC games so I could do a run of Cuphead. More importantly, I could finally play Cuphead, because Sammy bought that game for me ages ago and I haven't touched it because I can't, you know? It's beyond my ability to play. I can't. My system cannot physically handle that game. And it's not even that big a game to handle. It's beyond my computer's abilities. But yeah, that way I could do a run of Cuphead. I could do Final Fantasy III blind. I could do the entire Tomb Raider series because I have it, you know. Do all that fun shit. And I want to be able to play games like I want to play Stranded Deep. I want to play Subnautica. I've seen Markiplier play that, and that game looks so goddamn fun. It's right up my alley. I like water. You know, I like being underwater. I like constructing shit underwater. I really like doing shit like that. It just speaks to me as a person. So the idea that I could play at a game where the whole point is to make an underwater base. It's just, that's me, you know? I could do fucking marine biology shit, study creatures and eat them, you know? Construct elaborate underwater bases, ride around in a fucking submarine, park my submarine in another submarine, get out of my submarine and climb into a fucking mech. What more do you want than that, you know? I'm not looking for a whole lot more than that. I'm a simple guy. So yeah, I want to be able to play games like that. I like different kinds of survival games. For some reason, I really like island survival shit. Like where they stick you out on a fucking abandoned island kind of thing. Games like that just really do it for me. That's why one of my favorite Sims games that I had on the PS2 is Sims Castaways. If they came out with a PS3 or PS4 make of that game, oh, I would have that game so fucking fast. I would do Let's Plays of it and all that fun shit. Because it just kind of speaks to me as a person, that that's the kind of game I like to play. Oh, there's some roof that I didn't fuck with yet. Or maybe I did. Oh well, either way, this is about as good as I'm gonna get it. So yeah, that's on the docket. Get a laptop that's capable of doing that shit. Oop, shit. Also shit. Fuck it, just collapse it. I don't care. There was another thing, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, that's a priority for me. Getting a new laptop so I can do laptop-y shit. Just, you know, computer shit in general. I want to do fresh new computer shit of the sort that I currently can't, you know. My friend is actually going to take me out bow shooting. I don't know when. He's still trying to set it up. Apparently he needs to get 6 people, and I was number 3. So we'll see where this goes. But that should be fun. I like shooting bow and arrow things. I'm not particularly good at it. We've seen me try to shoot shit, but you know, it's a thing I can do. Oh, I actually have been working on something new for my channel. I started it yesterday and got interrupted, so I didn't really even finish the first part of it. But I am doing a playthrough on the PS4 of XCOM 2, which is a game I own, legally. And I'm going to be doing that Let's Play. When I turn this off, actually, I will be resuming XCOM. But no, not like that. But I actually talked to my friend when I was mentioning the laptop thing, that even though I haven't done shit for my channel, really, in the past, fuck, I don't even know how long, I am still, to this day, releasing new shit. Because I got that far ahead of everything. I got so far ahead of where I was in terms of recording that to this day, last I checked, I still have new episodes rolling out on my channel every now and then. I think there's only one project that's still active right now, but it's still churning out episodes because I recorded 2 fucking years in advance before my computer exploded, you know? And I'm still popping out new shit here and there, like I've been doing the 16-bit shit. I'm still doing these updates, although I'm not releasing them as quickly as I should. Like, last night, I think I finally rolled out the past 2 weeks' worth of episodes. So, I'm not exactly on the ball there, but I'm doing better than I was. But, yeah, I'm probably going to take a couple weeks off once I get the new laptop to just get settled in, get shit worked on that needs worked on, like, get stuff rolling on my channel, get shit in advance, like I want XCOM 2 done, I want to get, some more nostalgia trips, some more Blast from the Past, just out so I can get them rolling when I need to. I want to get more things, because I also keep getting more free games that I want to do as well. Just, in short, I want to have a nice backlog again. I want to build up the backlog I once had, so that, again, so that by the time I'm halfway through 2019, I've got shit all the way to 2021. If I can do that, I'll be happy. So, yeah, I've got that going. I've got XCOM 2 in the works. I'm more or less finished the outside of this house, at least the parts that'll let me finish. Minus the siding there. Nope, there's more over here that I missed. A lot more, actually. I'm kind of still good on wood. I might have enough to finish this as it is. So yeah, I want to slowly begin rebuilding my channel. I want to be able to play games that I've had for a while but haven't been able to play because my computer just wasn't strong enough. I want to get new games that I wanted to have but couldn't play. Like, I actually, for about 6 hours, owned Stranded Deep. But my computer couldn't handle it. It was just a lag fest where I could accomplish absolutely nothing. And I basically had to tell Steam, look, I fucked up. I bought a game that was too big for my computer to chew on. Can I please have my money back? I'll buy it again someday when I have a better computer. You know, and they reimbursed me, and that was the thing. Alright, time to chop some more trees. I want this house finished before I log off, if possible. Oh, man. It's probably possible, it's just not fucking likely. Let's cut this little shardlet up real quick. But yeah, I've been having some fun. I'm gonna do XCOM 2 right after this. I actually left off in the first non-tutorial mission. And I hate the way that game railroads you. I hate XCOM's tutorials because for some reason they think an important part of the tutorial is getting your agents killed. So for someone like me who prides themselves on getting through a mission without your agents getting hurt, much less killed, having some of them scripted to fucking die pisses me off. Especially since if you don't do the tutorial, the first mission, you're not obligated to have people fucking die. You know? And I had the option to skip the tutorial, but I'm like, no, we're going to do the tutorial for the sake of the crowd at home. So yeah, the first episode or two of that is just going to have me bitching at the interface and all that, but I do genuinely love the game. I was genuinely excited when it was one of my freebies, because I had been renting it up until that point, and the fact that I suddenly owned it was just fantastic. And still is. I just haven't been playing it much, you know, not as much as I should. But, yeah, I'm out here. I've been recording shit on the PS4 more. I've got that terabyte thumbstick supposedly coming in, which should help me in a big fucking way once I get it. Because that'll just open up a hard drive that exists exclusively for my Let's Plays, you know? So that's a big deal for me, actually. The idea that I'll just have a double tera that solely holds my Let's Plays, especially since now that I'm recording on the PS4, these are 1 and 2 gig files. These are big fucking files. I could probably trim them down, but meh, I'm not big on that. Now, the problem with the PS4's recording system and my own personal aesthetic... Well, that's way out of my current range, so I'm just going to fix the house, point myself in that direction, and log off. But yeah, with my own personal aesthetic, I'm not going to be doing a lot of blind runs on the PS4. Now, to clarify, what I mean by aesthetic is I don't like to cut shit out. I wouldn't mind if I ever got someone to edit for me, having battles cut out, for example. Like, oh, I'm playing Final Fantasy. I'll learn to shut up so that Bob, the editor, cuts out all the random fights. Because I don't have the software or the know-how to really edit a Let's Play like that, you know? Yeah. What's this? Oh, red box. Okay. But PlayStation 4, a lot of its games that have cutscenes mostly, have a system where when a cutscene pops up, it just edits it out from the recording process. It's like, oh, we're not going to do this. The people at home have to buy the fucking... No. Don't make the people at home buy the fucking game. Because some people aren't going to buy the fucking game. Some people aren't going to buy the system, they're not going to buy the game, but they still want to know how it works. A prime example of that is I owned a GameCube, and I own Metroid Prime 1 and 2. I still own a GameCube. I don't know why I said owned. As though it fucking disappeared somewhere. It's in my room. I know where it is. And I'm reasonably sure the damn thing still works, if I were to hook it up again. But, I own Metroid Prime 1 and 2, but I didn't own a Wii. I technically still don't. Matter of fact, we don't know where the Wii ended up. It's in this house somewhere, we're sure. The question is where, you know. But yeah, so the odds that I would ever get Metroid Prime 3 Corruption were slim to none, and I wanted to know how the series played out, because I was so invested. I beat 1 and 2. I want to know what the fuck happens in 3. So, I watched Slow Beef and Diabetes play the game. You know? And sometimes as a Let's Player, your job is not just, oh, I want to show off this cool game. It's, oh, I want to show off this game to the people who are, for one reason or another, never going to own it and have a chance to play it themselves. You know. Another example, Team 4-Star did streams of Arkham Knight. Well, at the time, I didn't have a PS4, and it wasn't looking like I would ever get one. The only reason I have one now is because the roommate has it, and I'm allowed to play it. So after beating Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, here's this game, Arkham Knight, that I had no means to play. So if I wanted the full story, I'd have to watch someone else play it. But if it was a fucking half-assed, piss-poor streamer, who just, I'm going to use the streaming service on the PS4, then I'd never get that story because the PS4 fucking cuts it out. Fortunately, Team 4-Star uses a fucking capture card like a sane person, says the guy using the PS4's capture system. And, I would see all the parts that it would have cut out with the thing saying, hey, we've cut this out, and Team 4-Star's like, yeah, no, you didn't. So, due to my integrity, I will not be recording on this thing anything that will have shit cut out if I know ahead of time that it's going to cut stuff. I'll fucking record it off my capture card in black and white before I allow that shit to happen. It's just, it's my own personal integrity. If you want to record like that, I'm gonna try not to rather judge you for it. But just like people who have Let's Played with cams, and when I say cams, I don't mean like face cam, I mean like, oh, I'm going to point my camera at this screen, and it will record what I'm doing, you know? A lot of Let's Players did that early on before they got capture cards. I don't want to be one of them. And I actually mentioned that to Eisen and then quickly backpedaled because I'm like, oh shit, that's right, you cammed. And I was going to apologize like, no, cams suck a dick, dude. Don't cam. I'm like, oh, okay, I feel like slightly less of an asshole now. Yeah, I think this place is about as good as it's going to let me get. But yeah, I intend to do a lot more PS4 stuff because I got that other double Terra coming that'll hold all my shit. And we're just going to call it here. See you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.